rate is still one of the lowest we've had in history. It's in the 3.6 area. We still find ourselves with people investing. My hope is we go from this rapid growth to steady growth. And so we'll see some coming down. But I don't think we're going to, God willing, I don't think we're going to see a recession.
And what is exactly the White House's definition of a recession?
Again, I'm not going to define it from here. I'm just going to leave it to the NBER, as we have stated, how they define recession.
Until they have determined one.
I'm just saying that we're just not going to define it. We use the indicators that the NBER, the National Bureau of Economic Research, has used. We've mentioned that a few times.
GDP will be closely watched. A common definition of recession is 2 negative quarters of GDP growth, or at least that's something that's been true in past recessions. When we've seen that, there has usually been a recession. And many economists expect second quarter GDP to be negative. First quarter GDP was negative.
Is the White House trying to change the common definition of a recession because next Thursday the GDP numbers coming out are going to show that we've been in a recession?
So let me say this, the strength of our labor market along with the other economic factors is what we generally see in a recession, or even what is not what we generally see in a recession or even a pre-recession.
But there's good news, everybody. Clyde's not actually here, and Mark's on his way, supposedly. Good news, everybody. Doing my best, Hubert Farnsworth. The recession is over. Well, actually, we never had a recession because they changed the definition of the recession. But it's officially over because July brought us 0 inflation. No, wait. 0 inflation. There he is.
Just us, huh?
Mark's supposedly on his way.
Yeah, I believe that when I see it. Wow. All right. Well, if I knew I was
He's actually awake, so that's a good sign. Yeah, so 0 new inflation for the month of July. Did you happen to look at the numbers for how they came to their calculation of 0 new inflation?
No, I don't. I know it's less than last month's inflation, so they call it like no inflation. I guess they didn't have the gall to say it was negative inflation. I don't know.
It technically, all right, so they take all of these different metrics, like how much the price has gone up and down for the month on different things.
Yeah.
And then they use that to, like, they take the average of all of those. And so all of those average out to 0. So technically there was 0 inflation for the month of July, except that when you dig into it and you look at the numbers, like 100% of what went down, like the cost that went down, was gas prices. Like,
right.
That's it. Like gas went down 11% or something over the month of July. So because of that, it offset everything else that went up. So there's technically 0 inflation. And yes, Stephen, we give credit to Putin for that. That is that's the Putin price plunge. Thank you very much.
I don't know, man. I was listening to the radio the other day, and they it was just like a spot that they run. I don't know. It's not really a commercial, but they were talking about the price of gas, and it was just like a report on gas and how the price has gone down. I don't know, for whatever the number was. I think AAA said like this is the first time in a month or whatever that it's been below $4. It's like, okay, cool. And then they actually went on to say like this is attributed to the fact that like higher gas prices kept people people from driving, and the lack of demand drove prices down. And I was like blown away that they would say this on the radio, that like people are like, supply and demand is driving the price down. Oh my God. Like, oh, it's not reserves that you're not replacing. It's people are not driving as much, and the supply, and it's bizarre. Like the whole supply and demand chain, like how that's not, even if you don't learn it in school, how is that not just common sense? Like when you have more of something, it's worth less. People want like less of it. It's not like you can't get the same money. Anyway, so yeah, prices are going down because people are driving less, and it doesn't mean that we have more. In reserves. They're putting oil back in the reserves after they clean up. I was not listening to NPR. Please don't miss that.
Are we sure? I mean,
Carlos, I was asking about Carlos. I thought we made you angry with our, like, I don't know, not enough breakfast burritos or something.
Carlos said he is here for the burritos. Or no, he's here for the tacos.
Okay.
You bought oil stock?
Said he can have my burrito. Huh?
You bought oil stock?
I got some, yeah. I have oil stuff. And then, is it an ETF? Are they oil ETFs? Some oil, a couple different, it's not a mutual fund. I don't think it's, they'll have a different name in the oily sector, but like, yeah, got a couple of them and they were like $2. No, $2. Should have got more. Always should buy more. But,
I can't ding anybody for like buying stocks in something that looks poised to take advantage of a horrible situation, because when the talk of the COVID vaccine passport was getting kicked around,
you went all in on Pfizer?
No, there were 2 or 3 different companies that were going to be at the head of like the technology that would be used for the COVID vaccines, or not the vaccines, for the COVID passports. And so I bought some stock in them. None of it ended up panning out, and the stocks are all basically worthless now. But I mean, I rolled the dice. It's not like I put a whole lot of money into it, maybe a few $100. Like, it was one of those things. If it hits, it could hit, and if it doesn't, it's what's a couple $100.
Yeah. Did you see? It's kind of on a stock line there, but so Nancy Pelosi went to Taiwan, and she brought her little boy with her, and are we going to talk about this?
What now?
Is this an article? Huh? Nancy Pelosi, she went to Taiwan, right?
Yes.
Yes. There's a lag, so I'm going to answer for you. Yes, Nancy Pelosi went to Taiwan. Justin is aware of this. She also brought her son with her. Her son was like redacted on a bunch of documents. They didn't put his name on like the official list, but like he went. And it turns out he's on the board with 2 of these large battery companies, like mining companies, I think, in Taiwan. And so it's like, what kind of shady deals is he doing there? But the Nancy Pelosi stock trader Twitter account had the names of the companies and the ticker symbols, and I don't know where exactly it went. I have to find it again. I thought I booked it, apparently not. Still might be a couple I want to get into.
Is that account back? Yeah. Is that because they had Twitter had nuked it at one point?
Oh, really? I saw it the other day.
Yeah, the Nancy Pelosi stock tracker Twitter account got suspended for a while. I mean, it's not like it was an offensive account. All it does is post the things that she's buying and selling. So, but apparently that's not permitted.
I just sent it in the private chat on here. Yeah, well, it's not permitted to watch when they do it. I love the video. I'm sure like a reporter asked her like, "Have you ever told your husband about any of these insider trades before rulings in Congress or whatever?" For she's like, "What?" And, like some big bird suit.
There it is.
I like. Okay, you said there it is, and your face lit up glowing like Pulp Fiction at the end. I like that. That was a good thing. I'm still not seeing it.
You are super glitchy. I don't know if it. I don't think it's me.
It could be my internet. My internet sucks, big old monkey ding dongs.
You took the kids in the other room, and instead of beating them with the hose, you gave them all tablets. You gave them all tablets and stuff, and so now they're all doing stuff on the internet and tying up all your bandwidth. That's what's going on here.
No, that's not true. My wife with our oldest, and next youngest is, I don't know what she's doing. She's somewhere there. She might be watching. There's TV's in here, computers in here. No, I don't know what she's doing. I think it's just my internet. My internet sucks.
So you did beat the kids with the hose before the show started.
Oh boy.
Welcome.
I like to use extension cords. I think extension cords leave a better feeling than you remember it longer than a hose.
Well, the problem is with the extension cord, though, you run the risk of getting the whelps. Like with the hose, it's usually thick enough and soft enough that you can get a good beating without leaving marks.
I don't know. I'm not. Maybe I hit too hard with the hose then. What do you use when you work with kids? Hoses or
Mark's over here like, what the fuck did I walk into?
It doesn't even surprise me anymore.
Arranged marriages on Wednesday and how to beat children on Friday.
Hey, we've got a woman in the chat over here.
Yeah, not the first time we've had a woman in the chat, but
I mean, it might be the second.
It's the second show wife that's been on the chat.
Oh.
All right. He's just making us feel good.
I don't know what Clyde's saying.
No.
Sparring along over here. And there he goes.
Go reset your router.
She's lurking while
working. Usually lurking while working. And that's what my wife used to do. Then she changed jobs, and now I don't have to censor myself anymore.
She's a true poet.
What
I guess third, because your wife has been in the chat a few times, and then I can't remember the other lady's name.
Shannon.
It's probably not good. Small show like ours, I should know all of our watchers.
You really
should. First name.
It's okay to call her Sharon, but her name is actually Shannon.
But when you have someone like this D-Dubs guy, it gets hard to figure out all these names.
Yeah.
So what's going on today?
Well, Clyde's back. He looks better. He's less fuzzy. Did you reset the router?
No, I just closed some tabs I had open.
You had 17 tabs open, and
I have more than 17. Let's be honest.
I was like, I've got 17 open on the other browser that I'm not using for this stream. This stream only has.
Doesn't matter.
Only 12 here.
It does matter, Clyde.
What do we want to talk about today?
If you have, nobody cares what window it's in, right? It's the cumulative number of tabs you have open on the computer. Yes. Yeah. So, Justin's over here like, well, I only have 5 in this browser window. Like, nobody cares, dude. It's all the same.
Boy, aren't we chipper today?
Well, you know who is probably chipper? Maybe not today, but at the time, I would guarantee you he was pretty chipper. the bouncer who had sex with a naked woman in a nightclub as patrons cheered him on. Looks like they just hopped right up on the table and went after it.
Oh, that's an actual video, huh?
Yes, that's one of the patrons of the
Well,
nightclub was filming them as they were doing it.
I know. I didn't know they had the video.
Bouncer
on
had sex with naked
post.
women. It just kind of seems like a handful here. And there was nobody there to kick him out.
Right, because he's the bouncer.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, let's hear you defend the guy.
No,
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
don't.
I mean, I'm going to defend the guy.
There's nothing to defend. Like, what did he do wrong? It's not, it seemed consensual to me.
I mean, is it in his contract though?
Is it in your
Do not
contract
have
not
sex
to?
with,
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
with the employees, your fellow employees.
It's a nightclub.
Usually
so
that's in most contracts. Or
is it
implied, at least.
explicitly forbidden that he have sex with the patrons of the nightclub? And that's the real question.
I mean, is it like it probably breaks some laws? Like I know, like like if with strip clubs, at least in New York, like I think it was like if the ladies get all the clothes off, then you can't serve alcohol, right? And so if you serve alcohol, you got to leave your bottoms on or something like that. There's some like weird distinction, like where you could like if you served
I thought
alcohol,
they just put the
it had to
nipple
be-
pasties on and then they're covered.
I don't frequent these establishments like you do. So.
Neither could I, but I drove by a juice bar on my way to soccer in New York, and I was always like, "What the hell's a juice bar?" And then I looked and figured it out, and I was like,
It's a
"Oh!"
synagogue.
And then I realized there's like different
Juice, my bad.
like laws involved with it, and like what it's. So I don't know. I wonder maybe that's part of the problem, is that they serve
Like-
alcohol, and there was bottoms.
Evansville has the bookstore, and I was like, I like books. No, it's not that kind of. And apparently, an adult bookstore is not the kind of bookstore that I'm.
Yeah.
The things you learn on accident sometimes.
It might not be
Right.
in his contract, but HR is going to be like, "Do you know what conflict of interest means?"
HR is just jealous. Let's be honest.
Do they even have HR? Because this is in Crimea.
This is,
So a bouncer has
Yeah.
been jailed after he was caught on camera romping with a naked patron inside a nightclub in Crimea. The
So it was
X-rated
a
incident occurred in
patron.
the city of Sevastopol on Monday night, just hours before a series of explosions broke out in the nearby Saki Air Base.
So there's like multiple things there. I didn't realize it was a patron. I thought it was like a stripper, but I guess it's not. So
oh, I thought it was a stripper too.
me too.
That's what I said. Is it illegal to?
Oh, since this is Crimea, I don't know much about Crimea, but the bouncer might be the owner, might be the HR person, might be the CFO, all of these things.
The one thing we can say positively though, that he's not gonna, like, if this was gay sex, he'd be stoned right now, right? He'd be thrown in a dungeon and fed to the Ukrainian Nazis. So at least he's got that going for him. He's not gonna get like murdered for it.
Yeah.
They have tolerance for straight sex.
Come over here. That's the only thing that's allowed.
Yeah.
I guess my point was like, is it forbidden for him to do that? But I was thinking more like him getting fired. It doesn't say that he got fired. It just says he got arrested. So like once they bail him out, he's probably going to be right back to work.
He's
Be
got
the-
employee of the month.
Yeah, the owner will be like, look, be a little bit more discreet. Like, at least take it in the bathroom. Don't just do it up on the bar.
Carlos over here talking about third world countries. Come on, man.
Let's see. Oh, speaking of third world countries,
Also, does that mean like if you? I mean, do people go to nightclubs when there's like a war going on and just like bang on
I bet in
stage?
Ukraine they do.
I mean, what does that say about the war?
I mean, have you not seen the stuff about like American soldiers who were deployed to Europe during World War II, and like they would have leave and they would go to these like bombed out towns and stuff and like hang out with prostitutes and crash at people's houses, or like there would be like hotels and stuff that were still standing that would just bring these American troops in. Like they're in hostile territory, going to hotels and stuff to bang hookers and get drunk and have fun. Because I mean,
I guess I
you-
don't know.
it's
I always thought that was
a
like
money making
Okinawa,
thing.
but,
Like
you know.
people are got to blow off steam somehow.
Yeah, I suppose.
Russians raped their way through Berlin after they killed Hitler or found Hitler.
Hmm.
Speaking of third world countries,
Shithole countries is the term I prefer.
there we go. 14 million trees have been cut down in Scotland to make way for wind farms.
Jeez.
Because, environment and some shit.
It's almost like this is intentional.
How does this even like get through? How is there not somebody in the middle of this line of process that you have to go through to do all this, saying like, hey, let's not do this. This is a really bad idea. Like, are that many people retarded, or is it just like the people that do say something get rolled over? What, like, how? I just can't fathom how this is possible.
Have you seen the? There are. Now I feel like I need to try to find it. There are pictures of like these big solar farms that are on the side of mountains where they just like literally clear miles, like square miles of forest off the side of these mountains to put solar panels on it.
I know.
Like, you realize, or I guess they don't realize, that the trees were actually doing more to curb climate change than the solar panels.
You put on top of that like habitat destruction. You put on top of that like the roots holding the soil down on the side of the mountain, and now when it rains, like you're gonna get a whole bunch more runoff water. You're gonna get soil running on. Like it's just, I don't know how. I don't care. We're screwed, and people are just. It blows my mind.
I don't know.
Don't stay retarded. I'm not ending the show at 22 minutes.
I mean,
let's call it in the morning, guys. I don't know if it's the same where you're at in Indiana, Justin, but those windmills terrify me at night. There are a ton of them in northern Indiana. And when you drive through at night, it looks like an alien invasion.
We don't have them in the southern part of the state, at least that I'm aware of. Mostly we've got solar farms going in, and there is a huge push to run those fuckers out. It seems like a lot of like city and county council people are pushing for the solar farms, and nobody likes the idea. So it's coming up against significant resistance.
Yeah, take out the aliens while you're at it.
Do we
I
have
wonder
an
if that's what
article
the
about
turbines
aliens?
are for.
Do what?
I wonder if that's what the wind turbines are for. Just keep the aliens out. I mean, it's hard to land if you got like little spiky swivel things all over the place, right?
Yeah, that's going to be the next thing we're going to cover. All of the land. Just turbines. This is also like a cousin to wanting to block out the sun. It's like, let's tear down the trees and insert these. Let's block out the sun, all in the name of the environment.
It baffles the mind. Like,
it does more.
Like we have a lot of coal mines around here, and like when they get done mining the coal, they backfill it with dirt, and like literally right over there's a giant field that has corn in it that used to be a coal mine where they mined the coal out and then they backfilled it, and now it's a field. Like when you look at the like the lithium mines and all of these other, like the stuff that they use to make the solar panels and the windmills and stuff like that.
Well, the batteries,
yeah, the batteries, like the leaching pools that they set up around these and everything, like the way that they get that stuff out of the ground and the environmental damage that it does to mine for that stuff, like those are now wastelands. They're unusable. You don't backfill that and turn it into a cornfield. Like it's just fucked forever.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Most of that happens over in Africa, so whatever.
I thought this was a global crisis, not just an American crisis. Although I guess if you look at the Paris Accords, it's probably just an American crisis since it was just the U.S. that was going to be paying for everything.
When you were pointing and saying literally just over here, could you throw a stone and make it to the area you were pointing to?
Not a stone. Maybe a spear he could do it, but I don't know.
I bet I could get a baseball over there.
He's got a long torso and frame. Did you play baseball too? You got the pitcher's mold.
I played. It's funny you bring that up. My son and I were talking about this. I didn't get.
Let me tell you a story of my childhood.
I didn't get to pitch. We watched that. We watched that video of the kid that got beaned, and then like the pitcher was all shook up, and the boy comes off of first base and goes over to give him a hug and like console him and all this shit. I was like, man, I used to hit people on purpose. What's up with all this like hugging it out and shit? Feeling bad because you hit somebody. Like if I lost it and hit him
toxic
in the helmet,
masculinity, dude.
If I lost the ball and it hit somebody in the helmet,
America,
I might deep down somewhere at the very like utter pits of my soul feel a little bit bad. But odds are I'm coming off the mound talking shit just because they got in the way of the ball. Like I'm not feeling bad about that. And I tell my son that, and he's like, "You really are a bad person." I was like, "Whatever, fuck you, go away."
I'm not bad.
So anyway,
fuck you, go away.
I didn't get to pitch in high school because I was a side armor, and our high school coach and the way he had his program, he wanted overhand pitchers that threw fastball, curveball, changeup, and I was a side armor that threw junk shit. I was a sinker, slider, screwball guy, and
see, sports is like the only thing in which I actually appreciate diversity. Your coach is an idiot.
Yes, I agree, but whatever. But,
do we have any diversity in our fantasy league?
You know what? We have Adam Nutter, so we've got the obligatory homo.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't tell if you're being serious or if this is a joke.
Adam Nutter is in the league. Adam Nutter is in the league. He is married to a woman, so if he's if he is a homo, he's got a pretty good cover anyway. Let's see. We've got Magoo, who hasn't actually joined yet. Calling Magoo. Where did you go?
He was in here earlier. He made a good joke.
We do have some diversity. We have my wife, who also hasn't joined yet.
That's not really diversity.
Yeah, he said my wife. Yeah.
Let's see.
He's looking over the list now. Everybody signed up?
No. Magoo, go click the damn link and join the fantasy league, you bastard. There he is.
He's just going to pick all Georgia players anyways. Or is he a Falcons fan? That's got to suck.
Didn't they win last year?
The Falcons? The Falcons have never won. The Falcons went to the Super Bowl that one time, I guess they've been to the Super Bowl more than that one time, but every time they've gone to the Super Bowl, they end up choking. The last time that they went, they choked royally.
It was a glorious time.
I say Mark still gets hard just thinking about that.
Oh, I watched the highlights, and I won't tell you what else happens while I watch them.
I don't think we need to do that this morning.
Speaking of the good old sports ball, damn it, what'd I do with it? See, this is the problem having this many tabs open.
Just drink my coffee. I don't know what you're thinking about over there.
We're getting scientific with this shit now.
Ooh.
The scientific theory of why some Americans don't want Brittany Griner to come home from a Russian prison.
Racism?
Yeah, that's probably it.
Oh, we haven't read this yet. Throwing a wild
Okay.
guess out there.
There could be a scientific explanation as to why they've sided with a foreign adversary instead of supporting their fellow American. For one, they call this phenomenon deservingness heuristic. So it's how someone came to be in need of assistance that affects whether or not the public thinks that person should receive it. So like, because she was doing something illegal in a foreign country, and she is to some extent controversial on her
Is
own.
she?
I mean, she talks shit
She's
about.
placed in the WNBA. I mean, it doesn't really matter what you do.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
She
we're
talked
talking
shit about having to stand for the national anthem before.
so like 5 people.
Yeah, like all 8 people in the stadium stood for the national anthem, and she was like, "No, I'm not going to do that."
There's more on the team than in the stadium. If I am guessing what this means, if she were Tom Brady, then I would be like, oh no, it's terrible, get him back over here. But here's where the scientific theory falls apart. Tom Brady wouldn't put himself in this position. Therefore, only people who, in my mind, deserve it would put themselves in that position.
I don't know. Like it, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't know. Who cares? Like, you went to another country, did something wrong. Like, it's not that you deserve it. Nobody deserves to be put in jail over cannabis. But like, you know, you got to know. I don't know. You got to know what you're doing a little bit, right? You got to be aware of your surroundings a little bit. I mean, just because
like she claimed that she didn't know that it was in her bag. Like, really? You I don't know. That's easy.
I don't know. I don't know if I buy that.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am. Like,
what did she have? Did she have like trees, or was it like just like a what did she actually have? Do we know?
Some sort of vape cartridges.
See, I'd be more apt to like believe her if it was like a actual physical, you know, herbage. If it's a vape cartridge, I kind of feel like, you know, you're trying to sneak that in. I don't know. Maybe not.
There was a runner a few years ago who was doing like a marathon in every country except for like North Korea, obviously. And like one of the really strict Muslim, he had like cameras following him around and stuff, so there was like a publicity thing. In one of the like strict Muslim countries, like he thought that he could probably get away with running in shorts, but he's like, I'm gonna wear pants just in case. It's like, I don't know, maybe she should have gone in with that mindset.
Yeah. It's like a I don't know, man. It's a non-issue, really. Like I don't understand why it's just such a thing. And there's articles on like, you know, why we need to pay the WNBA more because like, look at these professional athletes that have to travel overseas in the off season to play, and look how bad. And it's just like, no, I mean, you know, maybe I don't know. Who cares, really? I mean, you're if that's the path you take, you know, getting into the WNBA, you know, like becoming a soccer player in the MLS, you know that you're not going to make a living doing that. Like, you make some money and you pick up a side job in the off season and you do that. But like, unless you're really, really good and you get like one of these really big deals, like it's not, you know, it's more for your own personal enjoyment, I guess, you know. How much do WNBA people make? Do we know?
I mean, I can look it up real quick.
I don't care that much.
I don't think it's that much. I think it's average is probably in the like 30,000-40,000.
Yeah. I mean, and you think about it like that. I mean, you got to be able to make money on the side with that. You know, just the fact that you play in one of these leagues, either as a coach, as a trainer, or as like, you know, do some PT on the side. Like, you know, you can use that to your advantage to do something else. You know, tree
Oh,
fitty.
wow. The average WNBA salary for the 2020 and 2021 season was $120,000.
Yeah, but I mean, that take out the top 5 people and what is it? You know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's
But yeah, I know. I mean,
goes down
It's
significantly.
probably
Like,
actually more egalitarian among the WNBA than like the NBA. Like the top of the NBA is definitely like way higher than the bottom of the NBA.
looks like the starting salary is like right around 60,000.
yeah. Then whatever.
Now Mark's mad. He's thinking about shaving his beard and trying out.
Yeah, I mean, might as well give it a try. I don't know. The locker room seems terrifying to me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Probably
You
get
have no
broken.
idea. You have no idea.
It's
You
not
say
that I'm
this
afraid
like
of
you've
women.
been
It's
in
that
it,
I'm
and
afraid
then-
of women.
A women's basketball locker room is like the most terrifying place to be on the planet.
Yeah.
Why is this?
Well, for one, bitches be crazy. And number two, they're kind of fucking disgusting.
Okay.
And also, bitches
Crazy and
be
disgusting is a
crazy.
feedback loop.
Yeah, it's like it just keeps cycling over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It's like
Cycles
they're crazy
too, yeah.
and they're also disgusting, and then they're also crazy, and then they're even more disgusting, and then they're still fucking crazy. Like, and then especially like when the time of the month hits, oh fuck, you may as well just light yourself on fire and save them the trouble.
And I would assume that like a women's basketball locker room is like exponentially worse than like a women's volleyball locker room.
I'm gonna assume so too, because the volleyball chicks all
Or
seem
even
like
softball.
I don't know, the softball chicks are pretty rough.
That's too far, yeah.
The volleyball chicks, they're all mostly kind of hot and real feminine, but yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're just you know, expounding on male
Stereotyping.
fantasies. Yeah.
I don't know. There are some pretty hot softball chicks though.
Half of them are lesbians, so you gotta be careful
Well,
there.
that's yeah. There we go.
Yeah, but usually you can tell which ones those are because they got like the sides of their heads shaved and got like a mohawk and.
I think there is like either the lesbians do or they don't wear something in their hair to signify. This is what I've heard.
Just like 1940s, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Muslim countries, I mean, let's ban shorts. Just kidding. I like shorts too much.
Well, 2 months out of the year you get to wear them.
No, I'm the weirdo who does it like deep into October, perhaps first couple weeks in November.
Mm.
And then as soon as it hits 50, like for 3 days in March, it's like, oh, pull out the shorts.
I remember that. Well, but like people don't get it though. You're used to like 0 degrees, so when it goes up to like 45, it's like, man,
Yeah.
like it feels good, you know.
It's like turning.
And we're back talking about the weather. Oh, did y'all? So I'm gonna just assume the answer is no.
It's good assumption.
Y'all didn't read this, but nearly 3/4 of Texas teachers say they are ready to quit.
Good.
Now, if we could just get the other quarter to quit, shut down all the schools, and solve.
Why are they wanting to quit?
Apparently, because they're being kidnapped by ugly kids.
What is this? Is this a movie picture or what?
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
It's gotta be from a movie.
Talks of nationwide teacher shortages are nearly unavoidable as many school districts start the new year. Reports of massive vacancies riddle news headlines. There are plenty of reasons for this, but overall, the general consensus is that few Americans today are interested in becoming educators, and those left are more stressed than ever. Because of this, Plenty of current teachers are leaving the profession. In Texas, teachers are so fed up with the current state of education that nearly 3/4 of them are ready to resign. I think it comes down to go.
No, it's had nothing to do with the article, just duct tape. I had a teacher duct tape me in my friend's mouth one time.
Sounds like a good teacher. We should probably promote them to
Yeah.
that administrative role.
Did your dad not go beat the teacher's ass?
He was probably on his side, to be honest, and I may have deserved it.
That was what I was always told as a kid. It was like, if you get a spanking at school, because back when corporal punishment was a thing, and the teachers actually like displayed the paddle on the wall, so you knew what you were going to get your ass whooped with if you got out of line. It was always understood that if I acted up and I got an ass whooping at school, I was going to get a double ass whooping once I got home. So,
yeah, he was also the basketball coach too, so he could hold that over my head.
See, I half want to read this article now. Does it talk anything about the state of what they mean by the state of teaching?
Some pay. It talks about the pay. Hang on, I'm gonna close this out since we got all four of us. So yeah, it talks about pay. It talks about or how kids are just terrible. Those are the big things, and then there have also been some teachers are wanting to leave the profession because they think that it's being demonized over the CRT stuff, and it's like, okay, good. Like if you're butthurt over all the stuff that's going on, number one, if you're butthurt about all the stuff that's going against the CRT stuff, then good riddance to you. And then the ones who are mad about CRT being pushed, they're actually leaving public education and going to teach at private schools and stuff. So there's some good out of this. Like not all of these teachers are leaving the profession entirely. A lot of them are either switching to running some sort of a homeschool type of a program or tutoring type programs, or going to private schools or charter schools, stuff like that.
It's easy to say too, like in this case, any of the people who are actually worthy of being teachers, the actual good teachers are the ones who are going to do all the things you just said, leave, make better options. It's the shitty one. No, I want to stay in a union and work for a government job. And when they shut the country down because it's fucking cold, I'm still going to get paid. Those motherfuckers, they can stay in the fucking public school system or just quit. I'm cool with either of those.
I think
those are the ones that you see so prevalently in Chicago, New York.
Public school.
They're the ones who, whenever they talk about these teachers unions, those are the teachers unions they're talking about. Our rural schools here, we don't have problems with that kind of stuff out here in the middle of nowhere. We don't get a lot of teachers trying to push woke progressive bullshit or anything like that. And they want to be in the classroom. They want to be teaching. So it is get out of cities is the number one thing.
It's still there. It does. The cities are the worst, but it still exists in almost every district. It's the schooling that teachers have to go through. And teaching sucks. The kids are jackwagons, and then you got to deal with administration and parents that don't see their child as a jackwagon, and it's what did you do wrong? But at the same time, teaching isn't teaching anymore. You're not allowed to teach. You have to follow this script that they give you. You have to make sure that they are learning XYZ, ABC, everything beyond the point of teaching, to the point where it's just you need to do this for a test. You need, schools are garbage at this point. And
there's a school just a block away from here. They're hiring substitute teachers, and I'm thinking about applying and just offering my services as a 20th century German history teacher.
My My dumb redneck brother, who went to college for 6 years and managed to not get any degrees, he substitute teaches at the high school.
That's why I have experience working with kids. I don't have a teaching degree, but I think subs are pretty lenient with.
No, they don't care, man. Just sub. Like you don't have to have anything to be a
my
sub.
sister
Yeah.
did it for a little while, and you just hang out with the kids. I mean, it's not really gonna do anything if you're just a sub. Like you actually got to teach them. Here's your busy work for the day, kids. Now shut up.
That's what we should all do. We should all go sign up to be substitute teachers, and then we'll do the morning show live from the classroom, so that all the kids in the class hear like what we're talking about and get their dose of propaganda for the day.
That is
Feet up on the desk.
a brilliant idea. Like get like a Peter Thiel fund where he just like pays a bunch of substitute teachers in these communities where we go in and just really change the dynamics of the place.
Yeah,
I would do it.
I would. I don't know. I'm done with it, man. I subbed for a while. I taught for a little bit, and it wasn't. Nope.
Or
nope.
Do you have a teaching degree or like? Because you,
yeah.
I know you.
I have my master's in education.
Wow, you went all the way.
I did, and I taught I subbed in Brooklyn for a little bit, and then I taught in Brooklyn for a little bit, and it just wasn't. It's not cool, man. Not cool.
I took 3 education courses in college. I was going to be a teacher, or had aspirations of it. So I took 3 education courses in college. I lasted 2.5 weeks. I dropped 2 of them, and I just never went back to the third one because I had to be enrolled in the class to have the minimum number of hours to still qualify for my scholarship. So I kept one of them, and I just never showed up, and I took that F.
Yeah, I took some education classes too. One of them, the professor talked about how by 2023, whites will be a minority in the U.S. Obviously, that didn't come to fruition. Thank God.
Hey, you still got 6 months.
Yeah. But
which is more likely to happen by 2023? Whites will be replaced as the majority, or whites will be in the minority.
Here comes Carl.
Or
you guys talking about the Great Replacement again?
Or Hillary will be president.
Oh my!
I
feel like this is an article.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to cue the article.
Yeah,
I thought that was like a rhetorical question.
I wanted to give one more solution to the teacher thing. That's on brand for the show.
To the teacher thing.
We should go back to like 19th century. If we're going to have public education, it should be only women teaching. They can't be married. They can't be alone with a man unless it's their father. And I know, like, I'm not so naive as to think that they're not going to sneak around, but they're not going to get up in the classroom and tell their students about their sex life because it's going to get out and they're going to be fired.
Yeah.
I do. But like,
I'm kidding, but
I feel like we didn't have those rules when I was in school, and I don't remember my teachers talking about their sex life at all.
No.
Ever.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know how necessary. Like, I get the vibe. And
so
I
earlier we
feel
talked about duct tape. No, I'm just kidding.
It's just, I'm just like, what? Oh, I'm sort of wondering where. I don't know. Obviously, I don't attend like public school now, and I don't have any kids or nieces or nephews that do or anything like that. So I just don't really know. But it's like, I guess I feel like I can maybe see some like the seeds of the stuff that's apparently going on now. You know, from when I was in, still in school, 20 plus years ago. But like, I don't know. I feel like it must have taken some drastic turn somewhere. And I just
how does it fit into the daily curriculum? How does that fit into anything? Like, how do you have a conversation with a like, it's not just a minor. We're talking like, 13, 14-year-old, like, and younger. Like, how do you have a conversation about your sex life with them? Like that's weird, man. That's weird on all sorts of levels.
Like everybody thought that the football coach was banging the biology teacher, and biology would be the place to bring that up, and yet it never got brought up. So,
These teachers watched Bad Teachers, and they're like, "Ooh, I want to be a teacher." That's actually not. The movie isn't a blueprint, or it may have been, honestly. But
My fear though is that with all these teachers that leave, the ones that stay are like the ones that you find on Libs of TikTok. Like that's your demographic that's going to stick around.
Maybe that's what people send their kids to the public school deserve.
Yeah, I know, but then it screws the rest of us. Like
I hear you, but that's the nature when you have a public institution like that over that course of time and the amount of bureaucracy involved. I just think that's what shit devolves into inevitably. So like I feel you, it sucks, but I think that's just what happens when you decide to have a public solution to something.
And that's why you should run for school board and just take it over yourself. Oh well, I was talking about Hillary, and I forgot I had this article.
Oh, so there wasn't a Hillary article?
There is.
No, there's not a Hillary article, but there's a Democrats article.
There's a Hillary up there on your ads.
There is a Hillary up there, and there's also Lindsey Graham, who's basically a Democrat.
That's Melania Trump, dude. Oh, down there.
Yeah. Down a little ways. The Democrats' 2022 death wish. This is actually a fun article, and I will link it in the chat because it was kind of a good. I thought it was a good read. So they talk about how inflation is running rampant, and the economy is in the shitter, and everybody hates Joe Biden, and people hate Kamala even more. And so what's the Democrats' plan to fix all of this and to right the ship? More of that same shit. Like we're just going to keep and it talks about the Inflation Reduction Act that does absolutely none of that, and all of the additions to the IRS and pushing more taxes on people and everything else. And like it talks about how basically all of the failed strategies of the Democratic Party over the last year and a half are effectively what the Democrats are banking on, doubling down on going into primary season. So it was a interesting read.
Have you sent your "I'm disappointed in you" letter to Joe Manchin yet? Your boy who betrayed you?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm waiting to see what he does on the gun control bill that's going to come out.
Are you in West Virginia?
No, he's not. He loves Joe Manchin, though.
Okay.
Or he did.
I
don't know. You live somewhere and we're in that corner of the
letter.
country.
He's gonna like drip little drops of water on the letter and be like, "Joe, I'm not your constituent, but as you see, I'm crying while writing this letter."
I'm gonna mix a little salt water up and just like take a dropper, and that way it has like the real texture to it.
But at the end, there's a little rose, and he's like, "You can still find your way back into my heart."
Maybe a dab of your cologne in there.
Yeah. We're all gay, anyways. We know this.
Did you say we're all gay or they're all gay?
They're all gay.
Okay.
Although when Dag was talking earlier, he doesn't have his glasses on in his car, and his eyes look beautiful.
Thank you. I do have very pretty eyes. I appreciate you noticing.
Is this what you've been told?
Yeah.
It's the way the sunlight hits it through
the
the windshield.
Like gleaming in.
If I got to go turn the charm on, I make sure I'm not wearing my sunglasses. Like, it's the one thing I got. Yeah,
careful,
I got pretty eyes.
We had women in this chat earlier.
Yeah, it's okay. She knows my secrets.
Oops. Sorry, I made things weird, guys.
Yeah. I'm just gonna shake my head and ignore.
You made something so weird. Dag just like bailed. He was like, "All right, that's enough of that."
Yeah, he's like, "All right, I'm out of here." It's like those awkward situations.
Mark went too far. Okay.
She's lurking. She's just not chatting.
I'm glad she's.
We don't allow lurkers on this show. If you're gonna be part of the live stream, you have to chat with us.
All right,
We agree.
What? You've got something really concerning on your mind. Let's
get it out. I'm like let's move along. I think this It's making me uncomfortable.
Highlight this last comment. This on brand for this show.
That's
This
as
specific
well
episode.
she should be. Dag has trained his woman well. She is currently in the kitchen. So.
Sorry, guys. I just got a troubling phone call. I had to go.
Why are you uncomfortable, Clyde?
I just, I've been sitting here for a long time. That dry patch on my ass is coming back.
So you have no right to be uncomfortable. You sit there without pants or underwear on and a button-up shirt.
Mm-hmm. I told you last time, you should see the bottom of the shirt. It's filthy. It's not a work shirt.
We don't want to see it.
You do.
So do we want to talk about the FBI? Just to close us out, round this shit show out.
I love this. This is beautiful.
Unfounded attacks on the integrity of the FBI erode respect for the rule of law and are a grave disservice to the men and women who sacrifice so much to protect others. Violence and threats against law enforcement, including the FBI, are dangerous and should be deeply concerning to all Americans. Every day I see the men and women of the FBI doing their jobs professionally and with rigor, objectivity, and a fierce commitment to our mission to protect the American people and uphold the Constitution. I am proud to serve alongside them. FBI Director Chris Ray.
I wonder if he's going to make it all the way through with that voice.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
He kind of started to fade at the end there.
The nasally thing, I feel like I need to blow my nose now.
The FBI. They're just. What do you want?
Number one, the FBI has no integrity to begin with, so we can just throw that first sentence out. Number two, they don't sacrifice anything. I mean, they sacrifice teenagers who are depressed and have mental problems, but that doesn't count.
Did you end up applying to the job posting?
Actually, okay.
Which one? Are you applying for the IRS job?
They have a cutoff. You can't be over 37.
Oh, yeah.
37 is the max age. So for anybody who was curious,
so you could lie.
For anybody who was curious,
what is that about?
Because it is considered a
it's ageism.
It's an enforcement type of job, so there's actually, and they even cite it in the application, the legal code that makes it permissible to discriminate based on age, because it is an enforcement type of job, and so there are certain physical requirements of the job, and as such, they have a maximum age, which is 37. Now, I would be willing to bet that I am. I would be willing to bet at 38 I'm in better shape than most of the 20-year-olds that are going to apply for the job, but whatever.
I wonder, see, because my thinking is like, there's got to be a certain age that, after you get over that age, your views on things change a little bit. Like you're probably less likely, think about the kids coming out now that are 25 and 30 years old and what that generation looks like in terms of, principles and belief system. And it's kind of like, interesting. That's
got to get them young.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that plays a large part in it. Like, the younger they are, the more malleable the brain is, and the more easily you can kind of brainwash them into the bullshit. I mean, that's why they want 18-year-olds in the military, so they can wipe their brain of any independent thought and drill in whatever it is that they want them to do.
And they said that, right? Wasn't that Nadler that said that, basically?
Yeah.
Speaking of age limits, I wonder if that's their.
We're not going to talk about that today.
That's their next step. If none of this FBI stuff works with making it so Trump can't run, they're going to kick Biden out because he's too old, and they finally acknowledge that he can't function. And then they're going to insert age limits and be like, "Oh, it's 78, and that's how old Trump is. So it looks like he can't run."
Yeah, doesn't that like preclude Hillary then?
Yeah, that kind of ruins Justin's theory. It'll be good.
Look, I'm perfectly happy if Hillary never sees the White House. I just don't think it's going to happen.
And speaking
I
of
don't want to
behavior,
see it, but I hate to be wrong. Damn it! What's the?
How was
I would
basketball?
prefer to be wrong in this case, but I don't think I am.
Do you think Trump actually had like nuclear codes in his Mar-a-Lago safe?
He probably had a bag of McDonald's hamburgers. Saving them for later.
And here,
So
They've got to change the codes like the locks, right? When a new president comes in, change the locks, change the codes, change the toilet seats.
what do the codes matter? Like, can you just like hop on your encrypted smartphone and punch codes in and like launch nuclear weapons, or like what? Like,
right? Like
even with the codes,
chance,
aren't there like other measures in place to make sure that like little Billy Hacker Boy couldn't like get in accidentally and send some nukes into like Indiana? Like, I mean, what?
Right, you have people who are hackers and code breakers, and that's like all they do. I mean, so if it was just like Trump happens to keep the codes in a safe at Mar-a-Lago, it's that easy to access the nukes. I'm pretty sure we'd have already experienced nuclear holocaust. Like whatever paper.
I don't know. That was my thought when I saw it. I was like, wait a minute, like.
I mean, it's basically the plot of the movie War Games.
Clyde, do you at least feed little Billy Hacker Boy as you have him locked in your basement?
Once in a while.
That's good.
Once in a while.
Only when he makes an entry I like.
You know what? The only way we want Bill back in the White House is if he brings Kamala or
Slick Willie.
I believe it.
I mean, if we could go back to that, though, I mean, think about how far we'd take women's rights back if we put Bill Clinton back in the White House. You have the bimbo squad all over. You have I don't know.
The only way
good.
we
It might
want
be
Bill
good.
back in the White House is if Monica Lewinsky comes with him. There, I managed to get the joke out without sounding completely retarded.
I thought you were just going to say we're all retarded. Okay, never mind.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.